Hey, what's up, y'all? It's me, Nate Almighty. Shout out to the GPA, Global Power Ambassadors. I'm back with a Raising Kanan Season 4 theory and prediction, as I will explain to you guys why Paul will definitely expose Kanan, ultimately contributing to Kanan being charged with Ronnie and maybe even Howard's death. Now, I'm not saying they're gonna be able to pull it off, because we all know Kanan didn't really ever serve no real jail time until Ghost ratted on him and got him sent up top for 10 years. Of course, we know this, but there is a humongous RICO case that will be built that will involve Marvin, who they're looking at first because he's the easiest to connect to things, right? And because there's secret snitches here and there, and because they're gonna be looking into Raquel as they get into Howard and all the other things that's connected to Howard and Rock that I will discuss in a later video, probably coming out tomorrow. But including Kanan and a couple other people, there is this huge Thomas family RICO case that is already in the works, orchestrated by #1 cop involved in all of this, Detective Tanner. I will explain why Paul will be the linchpin. He will be the straw that broke the camel's back. He will be the one that will bring all this extra heat on Kanan, being that there's a lot going on and Kanan's not even thinking about him right now. And also, I am suggesting that Kanan will kill Paul in episode 2, and I will explain why it is most likely to be episode 2. This video is gonna be another banger. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Let's get to it. All right, now look, Kanan will be exposed by Paul. He'll likely be charged with Ronnie's death, and they may even try to charge him for Howard's death, but because there are two guns involved, they're immediately gonna have to probably rope Rock, or maybe even try to rope someone else in, but most likely Rock or Marvin. Okay, Marvin was there on the premises. It's easy if the right snitches are around. It's easy for them to say, okay, Marvin was there. Maybe they didn't see Rock, but they know Kanan was there. It will go down like this. Kanan is going to have a very rough season, okay? Now, let's talk about Paul first, right? Paul's not dead. The last time we seen Paul, Ronnie and his people, they bust into Paul's house. Ronnie brought Paul into Kanan's apartment. They was pressing Paul. Paul was like, I'm not gonna snitch. I'm not gonna snitch. Kanan, tell him I'm good. And Ronnie said, you said you were gonna do it. Saying it is worse than doing it, right? Then he peed himself, and then Ronnie took him out of his house. Also in that scene, we seen Kanan say, I gotta make sure Ronnie don't kill this nigga, right? That's proof alone that Paul's not dead. Further proof is this. We know the classic line Unique said, okay? That applies to all matters of media. If the body don't show up, that nigga is not dead. Period. So it's safe to say that Paul was escorted back to his apartment and has been quiet ever since. But here's the thing. With everything going on in Queens, with Detective Tanner and everyone else running around, especially that other cop who locked up Famous, be looking out for the cop that locked up Famous for the murder, and also Detective Tanner to come cross each other and compare notes as they try to rope in Famous and Kanan together, who Paul will be able to identify and say, yes, we was doing this, that. And a lot of this will likely happen in episode 1. Paul's gonna be like, this, that. Kanan, Famous, they were together. They were the bosses, okay? He basically gonna say, they forced me to be involved in the situation. They may have proof that Paul was not forced, but they're gonna say, hey, you gotta pinpoint them and blame them for it. And then he's gonna say, hey, it was Ronnie as well. And then they're gonna say Ronnie was just killed. And then they're further gonna talk to Paul, and they're gonna try to surmise that somehow, some way, Kanan, maybe with the help of Marvin, maybe with the help of Rock, right? They killed Ronnie. Howard, who will be accused of being the illegal cop, he will be the person who will be looked at as well as having his involvement, and thus he earned his death because the drug dealers were done with him. This is what we're looking at, okay? Paul is going to be somebody who he's going to move out that building, but they're going to find out where he is, okay? And it's going to be on Kanan to deal with this situation, okay? Kanan is going to be looked at to kill Paul. The search for Paul will begin in episode 1, and it will end with Kanan pulling the trigger himself and killing Paul in episode 2 of season 4. Why am I saying this definitely will happen? For the simple fact of this. If you pay attention to episode 2s, right, of Raising Kanan, there's always a big murder that has some kind of influence on what goes on the rest of the season, okay? Paul, in a sense, in regards to dealing with Kanan's situation, is a star witness, okay? He was directly involved with getting the bike rider set up. You know what I'm saying? They're going to be talking to bike riders. There's a lot that Paul is connected to. And the reason why Kanan will kill Paul in episode 2, like I said, is because season 1, episode 2, you got Lou killing D-Wiz. Episode 2, season 2, you got Rock killing Scrappy. Episode 2, season 3, you got Marvin killing Sal Baselli. The reason why I'm saying it's definitely gonna be Kanan catching this body is because it's his turn. Episode 2 will be a death that will affect the rest of the season. It will be Kanan for the simple fact that I believe it's too soon for Juke to catch this body. I believe we will see Jukebox catch a body that means way more to the development of a character, and it's going to occur later on in the season. Probably between episode 5 and episode 8. And if we're going to see Marvin in his last season of Raising Kanan, which is possible, whether he gets killed or goes to prison, okay, we're likely to see Marvin find out Juke caught this body, and somehow, some way, he takes the blame for that body. Even if he still goes out in the blaze of glory, we will see Marvin want to give his daughter a chance, okay? And in the middle of that, Juke will go to the military, and she will come back even furthermore a psychopath, right? Right? Being a better shooter than everyone, right? And just having a different kind of military mind. We're going to see something happen to her that affected her mind while she was in there. Thus, we get to OG power, and we understand why Kanan, Ghost, and Tommy had reason to fear Jukebox. But like I said, Paul is going to make things very difficult for Kanan. Kanan is going to have to kill Paul, and Kanan is the type of person who's going to say, I gotta do this. I gotta do this. And as a sidebar, they already tried to get Famous to snitch at the end of the season 3. We can expect them to say, hey, y'all, you know who Paul is, Famous? As the detectives talk to Famous while he locked up, they're going to say, well, he says that, oh, we have information that you were working with Ronnie and this, that, and Kanan is out, and all you guys are big drug dealing buddies, this, that, and the third, right? We can look forward to more of them trying to break Famous. And like I said, There's no way Kanan kills Famous, at least not directly. It wouldn't be his doing. Now, if it happens indirectly, cool. But there's no way he would name his son after Famous if Famous ended up being a rat in any kind of way. Any kind of way. Kanan will have to deal with a lot of other things, including beating up bike riders, guys who used to work for him, right? They'll have to be threatened to kill, but pretty much once Paul is dead, the rest of them will probably shut up, right? Right? Paul's death will silence the rest, okay? Kane's gonna be dealing with a lot of pressure, including the fact that Crystal is pregnant. He probably will not rush to tell Rock that. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Peace.
Can't teach that shit, nigga. Come on. That's God-gifted. That's touched by an angel. That's on the dome, nigga.